Hello and welcome to Reason News. US President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to BRICS nations and their partners, threatening a 10% tariff on any country aligning with what he calls the bloc's anti-American policies. This declaration comes as the expanded BRICS group convenes in Brazil, signaling a pivotal moment in global trade and diplomacy. Donald Trump, in a series of statements and official letters, has warned that any nation supporting BRICS's anti-American agenda will face an additional 10% tariff on exports to the United States. The announcement, made as BRICS leaders gathered in Brazil, is part of a broader escalation in Trump's trade policy, which now targets not only traditional rivals, but also key US trading partners and emerging economies. The new tariffs are set to take effect on August 1st, with Trump emphasizing that the US is prepared to negotiate, but will not hesitate to impose penalties on countries deemed to be undermining American economic interests. This year's BRICS summit in Brazil marks a historic expansion for the group. Originally formed by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS has now welcomed Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran as full members. The summit also includes a growing list of partner countries such as Belarus, Bolivia, Kazakhstan, Cuba, Malaysia, Thailand, Uganda, and Uzbekistan. BRICS now represents over 40% of the world's population and a significant share of global GDP. The expansion is seen as a strategic move to boost South-South cooperation and challenge Western dominance in global trade and finance. BRICS leaders have swiftly rejected Trump's threats, denouncing tariff wars are coercive and harmful to the global economy. In a joint statement, the bloc voiced serious concerns over unilateral tariffs, warning that such measures violate World Trade Organization rules and risk destabilizing global markets. Despite the US warnings, trade within the BRICS bloc has surged. Since 2021, intra-BRICS trade has risen by 40%, fueled by new bilateral agreements, the expansion of supply chains, and a concerted push to reduce reliance on the US dollar. Member countries are increasingly trading in local currencies, bypassing the dollar and establishing alternative payment systems. The bloc's expansion accelerates efforts to create a multipolar financial system, with several members settling oil and commodity trades in non-dollar currencies. Brazil's agricultural exports, Russia's energy, India's IT services, and China's manufacturing have created a self-reinforcing economic ecosystem. Analysts warn that Trump's tariff threats could backfire. Rather than isolating BRICS, such moves may strengthen the bloc's resolve and accelerate the development of alternatives to American trade and currency systems. Here's a video from the FirstPost.
Trump threatened BRICS with extra tariffs. It's on your screen. This is what it says. Any country aligning with the anti-American policies of BRICS will face an additional 10% tariff. That's what Trump said. And he added that there will be no exceptions. It's the same old pattern, really. Whenever the BRICS comes together, Donald Trump threatens them with more tariffs. But this time, the BRICS is pushing back. They discussed Donald Trump's trade war at the summit. They did not name the US or Trump, but the BRICS spoke in one voice against the tariff assault. They called it a threat to trade. And the expanded BRICS has endorsed that statement. Let's first tell you about the expanded group. It includes the founding members, of course, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. The name BRICS, in fact, is an acronym made up of the names of these countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS. Plus, it has 5 new members: Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, and Iran. So 10 countries in total. They account for over half of the world's population. They make up more than 40% of the world's economic output. Together, they criticize Donald Trump's tariffs. In fact, countries like China used stronger language. Listen to what they said.
I've just shared our view on the BRICS mechanism. We believe that BRICS is a positive force in the international community. Its cooperation is open and inclusive, and not targeted at any particular country. As for tariffs, we have consistently opposed tariff wars and trade wars. We are against using tariffs as a tool for coercion and pressure. Arbitrarily imposing tariffs does not serve the interests of any party.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has firmly rejected US President Donald Trump's threat to impose an additional 10% tariff on countries aligning with BRICS. Ramaphosa described the move as wrong and expressed disappointment, emphasizing that might should not now be right. Speaking from Brazil at the conclusion of the BRICS summit, he underscored South Africa's commitment to fair and constructive international relations, stating that the country is not anti-American and remains open to negotiating a trade deal with the United States. Ramaphosa's stance aligns with other BRICS leaders who collectively rejected Trump's tariff threats as coercive and damaging to global trade. Tariffs may push BRICS nations to deepen cooperation, expand their network of partners, and further reduce dependence on Western markets. Unilateral tariffs risk fragmenting global trade, reducing economic growth, and increasing volatility in financial markets. The standoff highlights the growing divide between established Western powers and a rising coalition of emerging economies seeking a greater voice in global governance. At the summit, leaders from Indonesia, Egypt, and the UAE emphasized their commitment to win-win cooperation and rejected the notion that BRICS is anti-American. South Africa, which recently faced a 30% US tariff, later suspended, reiterated that its engagement with BRICS is about economic development, not ideological opposition. As the summit concludes, BRICS nations are pledging to enhance cooperation, shield their economies from trade wars, and advocate for balanced, inclusive global growth. The group's expansion and rising trade volumes underscore its ambition to reshape the global economic landscape. Donald Trump's tariff threat has injected new urgency and unity into the BRICS bloc, highlighting the shifting balance of power in global trade. As the world watches, the question remains, will protectionist measures isolate the US, or will they prompt a new era of South-South cooperation and economic realignment? We will continue to monitor developments from the BRICS summit and the global response to the US trade policy shift. For now, the message from Brazil is clear. The world is moving toward a more multipolar, interconnected future. Reason News pays tribute to Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, whose lives were tragically cut short in a car accident in Spain. Diogo, aged 28, was not only a star for Liverpool and the Portuguese national team, but also a beloved husband and father of three, having married his longtime partner just weeks before this devastating loss. Andre, 25, was himself a professional footballer, admired for his dedication and spirit. Their passing is a profound loss for their family, their clubs, and the entire football community. Diogo's talent, work ethic, and joy on the pitch inspired teammates and fans alike, while Andre's commitment to the game brought pride to all who knew him. As the Portuguese Football Federation stated, quote, "We have suffered the loss of two champions. Their passing represents a profound loss for the Portuguese football, and we will strive to honor their memory every single day," unquote. In this moment of immense sorrow, Reason News extends heartfelt condolences to the Jota and Silva families, their friends, teammates, and supporters. May the legacy of Diogo and Andre, marked by excellence, humility, and the bonds of brotherhood, never be forgotten. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay informed, updated, and curious.